Hi, I'm back. Hello. So this is the second half of our vlog gathering. If you are watching this anytime after, because I record the first half of the vlog gathering and the tutorial separately, you might not have a clue what I'm talking about. But we're here to make one of these charming little pumpkin girls, and I'm just going to show it to you on the overhead camera. Push this out of the way a little bit. Here we go. It's a little soft-bodied girl with needle-felted head and hat, and the body is actually made slightly different. And of course, all of this is featured in the August vlog box. And so what you get in there is our basic core wool. If you've never worked with a basic core wool, this is a good product to try. It actually is great for needle felting. It makes a beautiful core, but you can also use it for stuffing. And never forget to have a sniff. Love the smell of sheep. This one is actually from Welsh sheep. You also get to try our pea green New Zealand merino wool bats. And then we've got a dressed sheep here, which is the blush Perendale. So this is you have to undress the sheep if you want your pumpkin girl to have a slightly different skin color. However, you could use the basic core wool if you really don't want to use the wool from there. You get 2 eyes. I talk a little bit more about these because we have a new type of eye that we're offering in packets of 50 pairs, but only in 2, 3 and 4 millimeter, and they're completely round, and they work actually really well for mice and rodents, but also for the pumpkin girl. You get some curls. Now yours might be slightly different, but these are Wensleydale curls, and we have this is a new type of curl that we've got. And then you get a square of a pumpkin coloured felt sheet. Now, if you've never worked with our felt sheets, we use these for landscape pictures. They're great to needle felt on, but they're also great to make little clothes out of them for mice or similar. And in this case, we're actually using it to make the body of the pumpkin girl. So we're not needle felting the pumpkins. We're actually making it out of this felt sheet. And I will show you how we're doing this. Now, just to remind you, we have got a pumpkin pack where you can actually needle felt the whole pumpkin on its self, and it makes about 30 pumpkins, probably slightly smaller, but you can scale them up or down, and that pumpkin pack is available to buy on our website if you prefer a needle felted pumpkin body. So let's start with let's start at the beginning. If you are not ready yet, you will need some scissors. They will be used first, and you also need a needle and thread. Now, if you've got any thread that's sort of quite sturdy, that would be good. I'm going to use our extra strong thread, but any kind of thread will do as well, and a needle that you will need just to gather the top of the fabric. And I'm going to do this together with you now. So if you're ready, here we go. Right, pop this out of the way. I've got my felting mat here at the ready. I've got the felt sheet. Leave the eyes here. And my needle is also somewhere here. There we go. So I've got a longer sewing needle here. And I've also got, as I said, the extra long thread. So you need about 60 centimeters, but that is a lot. So you'll have plenty if you have 60 centimeters. So that's about, so I've got my measuring it here against my mat. And then my scissors are at the ready as well. If you've got our rainbow scissors, they're actually really good. And if you've got the curved ones, they're even better for the next step. I do have them, but they're at the other desk, so I'm not going to get up now. But first of all, this sheet, we're going to have to trim the edges off. But you want to cut minimal felt off here. So just literally go round the edge. You're not going to end up with a perfectly round sheet. You don't need to. But just trim the edges off as best as you can. by going round with your scissors. Get rid of the corners. We don't need to keep the corners, they are waste unless you want to keep it. There we go. So you've now got a almost like a round shape, but not quite, and that's quite okay. Then you're going to have to thread your needle with whatever thread you're using. Now I'm going to use my thread as a single thread because it's really super strong. I can't tear it, but if you've got a less strong thread, then double the quantity and keep it doubled. And then you're going in through the edge about just under a centimeter away from the actual edge. So this is going to be the gathering around the neck. And then you're going to go along by 1 centimeter. And you can probably do this with the needle rather than going in and out and in and out. You can probably do this and gather the felt up by going in and out, weaving your way in and out like this. And then when the needle gets to full, just pull it through. Now make sure that you've got a good end here and don't pull that end accidentally in, otherwise you just have to do more of the sewing. And then you work your way all the way along the edge of that felt sheet, all the way, however long you can gather the stitches on your needle before it gets too full up. Pull your thread through. Now there's my, I've got sort of halfway now, and then I'll keep going around the top edge, still exactly the same way. And finally I will get to where I've started, and then you have to pay extra attention to when you get to where you started, like this. If your thread is starting to be a little bit short, because you've cut it shorter than I have, then just keep your pumpkin slightly gathered, because I've actually just stabbed myself with a sewing needle. Oh, that's bad luck. So when you get back to where you started, you need to come out in this so that both ends are facing the same direction. And the way where they're facing, I'm going to take my needle off now. Here where they're facing, so they're coming out here on the same side, that's going to be the inside of the pumpkin. So if you pull it, you need to make sure it curves so that these threads are staying inside, like that. Okay, so it's quite easy to pull this, because felt is amazing to work with. And then all you're going to do is you're going to stuff this, but not entirely. Let's just put a bit of wool in there. So you might not have to use all of it. Just close it and see how you go with this. A little bit more maybe. So I've got a little bit left of that white. So if you prefer to use the white wool for the head, because you can't bear undressing the sheep, then feel free. But I'm not going to pull this any tighter. I'm actually going to put this to one side now. Okay, this goes to one side. And I'm going to undress my sheep, so don't look if you don't like naked sheep. I'm going to undress my sheep now to take off this wool. There we go, don't look. Naked sheep. You can look again. And now we're going to make the head of the pumpkin girl. So you need to just shorten this this strand that's been wrapped around your sheep, and it needs to be about that big. I want to say, what's that, about 12 centimeters or something like that, and have it maybe sort of 5 centimeters wide, so it looks a little bit like this. And then you're going to fold this in half like that. Okay, so you've got the folded bit here at the top, and I'm going to get my medium felting needle ready. Should have probably done that earlier. That's it. So when you've got this, This is the folded part. I'll just do it again. So there, you fold that down. Then you're going to fold in the top part, not all the way, but you're making an even thicker fold here. And that bit of the fold you can just felt down a little bit, just so that it doesn't pop open. So you've now got sort of quite a thick part here with the wispy fibers. And now you're going to wind this in from one side, so that the thicker part feels much firmer, and these are really wispy little bits. And then you're going to felt this closed, like that. Now this bit here, if it bothers you, you can pull a little bit of wool and cover it. You're not going to see it later at all, but if it bothers you, cover it. And all you're going to do now is you're going to work on that head part, and you're going to make a neck. So you need to needle felt into the base, where just at that particular place where you did that last fold. So that's the base of the last fold, the edge of the wool that you folded down. And then you work the head a little bit. Now the only area of that head that needs to look nice and neat is where you're actually going to put the face. Everything else around the head, if it looks a little bit like you've got creases or holes, don't worry about it, because, or if it looks a little bit flatter, you're not gonna see it. So you need to needle felt from all directions to build that round head up a little bit and make it firmer. So I'm stabbing into the base. You could use a coarse needle if you wanted to, but the medium needle will get you there eventually too. And felting it all over right now. By the way, if you're watching this live right now, you should know, I should have mentioned that earlier, but we have got an end of summer sale on I can't even remember on what, on some stuff, not everything, and it's an automatic discount. So you just pop it in your basket, and at checkout it just reduces it by 30%. It does not include kits, nor the earth friendly felting mat, nor sub boxes. So it has there are some exclusions, but definitely all wools and tools, and I want to say accessories. I can't actually remember without looking now. My brain is at capacity most of the time. Actually went all the way to the workshop today, only to realize I've got like a mobile office. It's currently transported in a shopping trolley, because I broke all the other trolleys that I had. It's too heavy, and the shopping trolley seems to be working fine. So I don't mind walking around with a shopping trolley with my office in it. Here we go. So now this doesn't look so nice here, but I don't mind, because this part looks nice. So I'm going to take back my little pouch. I'm going to make a hole in the middle, like this. There's a little hollow there now, like a little nest. I'm going to pop my wool from the head into it, gather it all up again. I'm just going to felt this down into the head. Sorry, not into the head, into the extra bit at the bottom. So you don't want to cover the head, you just want to felt the wool in onto those wispy strands of the head. So keep the head separate, but just felt the wool down a little bit. Go all the way around. We're not felting this wool inside the pouch, and then pull it tight again. Stuff it in. So the next bit I'm going to repeat a couple of times, because this is a really useful thing to know. So if you have got your pumpkin gathered like this, you can also stuff more wool into it if you wish. So this is an opportunity to fill it up more. But what you're going to do next is you're going to do a surgeon's knot. And the surgeon's knot is as follows. I've got to sneeze. No. Yes. Okay, the surgeon's knot is as follows. You're going to tie the two ends around each other as you would normally do to make a knot. This is one time you tied it around. And then you're going to go through it again. So you've got this now tied around twice. So it sort of looks like you've wrapped it around a couple of times. I'll do that again. So once, as you would do a knot, and then the second time. Now what that does is when you pull it tight, and remember that needs to be on the inside of your pumpkin, of your gathered edge, you can pull it and it stays together. You don't need to have somebody to put your finger on there now, because it will hold. Mostly it will hold. You can add another loop onto it if you wish, just to give it even more strength. So I'm just going to put a third time, and that might just mean now that there is enough to hold it. Now when you've got as far as this, stuff a bit more to make it nice and full, and then pull it tight again. And don't worry about the pumpkin being flat. Just make sure that it's nice and tight around the neck. You can use the scissors to stuff the wool in, and then bind it off finally, and it should hold its shape mostly without popping open. And just for good measure, put another knot on it, and then you can cut your thread and tuck it away, tuck the ends away inside. So now you've got your little pumpkin, and just like real pumpkins, they can be more squashed or not. You can adjust some of these creases by pulling them out a little bit if you wish. They can be very even. You just need to sort of move them along a little bit. And there's your little pumpkin now. So all we need to do now is we need to add the eyes, which I'm going to do next. I'm just going to stop here for a minute and see. Come up for some air just in my ears. If you have only just joined, I'm wearing cat ears because it's the promotion of the Craft for Cats kit, and I'm also going to wear the brooch now. The ears are completely random. I've made them. They're not. That's not what you're making, but you will be making a brooch and a pendant and earrings. So there's some comments here. So let's have a look at this. Jane says she's coming to Shepton Mallet, and she's going up there to take her sister. I think that's Shepton. Is that where you? Yes. I'm going to make a large felted piece, possibly a dog for multiple. Oh, for multiple sclerosis, which my husband suffers from, and wonders whether the makers would donate a bag of core wool to help with the hoping to make it life size. You need to email me. I can only respond to one source of information coming my way. I just forget everything else. I am so busy that I don't sometimes know how I function, and that's the honest truth. It's my brain. You don't want to be inside my brain. Debbie says that's probably a question best emailed directly. Yes. Oh, thank you. You've taken it out of my mouth. Claudia says, eek, the sheep will be cold now. Yes, they will be. Oh dear. Good job they live indoors. Sorry I'm late. Been busy with the new cats. Oh, kittens maybe? Ashley says, I can see a ghost in the making. Yeah, you can make a ghost like this as well. Approximately what size is the head? I want to say it's about 3 to 3.5 centimeters, but it doesn't have to be. This is such a completely you design it however you want to. But I think also you could make strawberries, and you could make apples and other round fruit children or girls or boys, whatever. Right, let's continue here. So taking the eyes out of the packaging now. So remember, these are the round eyes, so they have quite silvery pins, and they are literally super round. So we use both, but these I'm really begun to love. So choose the front of where the face is going, and then sort of about halfway, so from the top of the head to the halfway down, make a hole. Whether you do this with a felting needle, or if you have an awl, use the awl, pop one eye in. There's the awl. I always like it when the eyes are quite far apart, makes them, in my view, look cuter, like this. And then you need some glue, which I have yesterday put on my other desk. Damn, didn't think of that. Let's see if I can get a bit out of here. I've got a very, very elderly glue bottle here, so I'm going to open it up and probably just get a little bit of glue out with my awl and put it behind. Is there any glue left in there? Yes. Right, if your glue bottle is full up like mine, just take a little bit of glue, pop it behind the eyes. That's all it needs. Yeah. Oh, it's gone across the face. Good job, this glue is clear drying. And then clean up your awl. So if you don't have, if you have an ordinary glue bottle, just push the glue behind the nozzle, behind the eyes, add the glue, and then press the eyes back in. There. And then you need, I should have said at the beginning, you need a little bit of a Sharpie pen. I mean, not a little bit of a Sharpie pen. You need a whole Sharpie pen, not just a little bit. Oh, goodness me, what am I like? In lip colors, preferably. So I've got an orange one here, and I have, probably that's all I've got here. I've got all other colors, but yeah, they're not particularly lip color. There's another orange here. And all you need to do is just take a tiny bit of the wool, and wherever you're going to do this, maybe have have a little bit of paper underneath it. I've got a little bit of template here, and just color in. Let's just see what color that is. That's quite bright, isn't it? I've used a pink on this one. I've got a pink one here. That's more the color of the pumpkin, so I'm going to go for the darker one. Just color in your wool a little bit, like this, right? And then you only need a tiny, tiny amount of this to make a tiny, tiny mouth. So mix it a bit more. This is a good tip for when you need a wisp of a certain color. Just use a felt tip pen or a bit of a blusher or whatever, and just give your little pumpkin a tiny little mouth. So this is just the basic core wool that I've used, and I've literally just colored it in. Tiny little mouth. There. I think it works better if you make a little indentation for the eyes first, which I didn't do, but it's fine, you can still do it. Just push the eyes in. Because they're so round, they need to be maybe more sunk into the head. Forgot that bit. Little mouth, and you've got a little face looking at you. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the curls. Now curls, this set of curls, I could use that just on one side and then I have nothing left. But with curls, they're magic because you can make them so much bigger than they are. So first of all, I'm going to cut these in half. And then I'm going to tease them out sideways, because they become a lot more, a lot bigger in volume. I can't say that word if you do that. So teasing them out sideways gives you a much bigger cover. It also makes them much easier to fasten in. So ideally what I want is three batches of curls. So just tease them out sideways a little bit. That's my 3 batches. Make sort of 3 equal size batches. And I'm going to start attaching them on the side of the head. You don't need to worry so much about what's going on top of the head. So if you've got really long curls, then you could almost come back on yourself again if they're still too long. So we only need to cover mostly. Remember, there's a little hat going on the Pumpkin Girl. So I'm covering the side. Make these a little bit bigger on the side here as well. And felt them down into the head. Like this. And then I'm going to use, I always cover the sides first to frame the face. That's always what I do. And I like it when you've got a little bit of the curls hanging into the face. There. And then I cover the back with the rest. Just leave this out. So if the top of the Pumpkin Girl has got a bit of a bald head, don't worry too much about it, because we're going to put the green cap on there. But make sure that the face is framed. And I'm just going to add, don't know yet where I'm going to add this. This is what I've got. Well, if you have some left, you can also, on this one here, I've added a little bit of a curl on top of the hat. But you don't have to do this. So you can just have all the curls coming around the face. I'm going to add a little bit more here on the side. Right, there we go. So the curls are now attached, and teasing them out sideways isn't just making them bigger, it's also giving, making it easier to attach them. Now I always, and I love doing this, add a little bit of blusher to my makes. And I love this blusher because it's got a choice of really deep, dark blushing blusher or really light. And I'm just going to go sort of in the middle here. Add a little bit to the cheeks, even to the face if you like. If you've used too much and it looks awful, give it a little blow and it takes quite a lot of it away again. So there's the little face, and now I'm going to make the hat. So for the hat you will need, you've got this much green, and you can sort of split off about 2/3, which this is, and the way that I'm making it, I'm folding it in by 1/3 and by 1/3 again, and then I'm felting it flat on my mat. It doesn't have to be round, this cup, because pumpkin leaves are not round either. So once you've established a rough shape, tease it off and then turn it round and work from the other side, and then make sure that you get the edges neatened up as well. And you're gonna know what I'm gonna say now. I'm going to use 1, 2, 3 the edging tool. Exactly. I'm going to use the edging tool to make my flat hat shape very nice and neat around the edges. So I've got the large edging tool here at the ready. This 1 and 2. So I'm going to pop this inside my edging tool. Why is it wet? That's weird. Let's dry it. And use my felting needle. Make sure you're in the middle between the 2 discs, and then felt into the edge of your pumpkin leaf, which is going to be the hat. Make sure you're in the middle, because I've done this several times where I thought I was in the middle and then I wasn't, and I ended up stabbing it into my fingers. So get this nicely felted down. Take it out again, stab it some more just on the mat. If you do have a brush mat and a blue needle felting tool with 7 needles, you can use that too to speed up the felting process if you like. I've got the brush mat, but I can't see the tool right now. So it can be sort of quite, the edges can be quite uneven because the pumpkin leaf isn't completely round. Try that again. So get it felted down. The little hat needs to be larger than the where's my pumpkin gone? Oh, there. Needs to be larger than the head. So if you can cover all of the face, then that's good. And if bits are still sticking out by the side, that's exactly how you want it. And then you can make the stalk. You don't need all of the rest of the wool. Just take a small wisp, and the way that I do it, there's 2 ways. You can either just roll it into a sausage on its own, like this. Just wind it in. Let's do it this way. So make a little sausage shape, close it up, and then just felt one end down. Always point the needle towards the mat. So even though it looks like I'm pointing towards my hand, I'm actually stabbing it into the mat. You don't want to go right like this because you're going to stab it into your fingers. So you can turn the stalk around a little bit and at the same time felt into it to firm it up. And then the other end you keep wispy because you're going to open this up now. So tease it open, pop it on top of the pumpkin hat like this and felt it down. It doesn't need to stick straight out, it can be at a slight angle. So you've got a stalk there now, there, and then you pop that onto your pumpkin's head. She can have it slightly to one side, or further back, or whichever way you want to, like a little beret almost, and then felt it down. That's another opportunity to fasten the stalk on a little bit more, and just felt it around the middle so that the edges they're lifting off still a bit, but that is fastening the hat onto your little pumpkin girl, and that is all there is to it. You've literally made this in no time. And what you've tried out in this project is our felt, not just for needle felting, but also just to make a body. You've used some lovely curls. You've used a new glue and ice, which are round. You've got you've learned how to maybe color in a little bit of wool if you need a contrasting color. This works for eyes and mouths or anything really. Use blusher. I use this a lot, and make a flat shape. Attach it all to your little pumpkin, and before you realize, you've got a whole lineup of little pumpkin girls. So that's basically the little tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed that. I'm just going to see if there are any questions, and then it's time to call it a day. Is the pumpkin fairy still available, please? We don't do the pumpkin fairy as a kit, but you can buy the instructions and as a downloadable PDF. Good evening, says Hannah, everyone. Just saying hi as I'm still at work, so we'll be catching up on the replay. Lots of love and thank you for your time, Steffi. Oh, thank you also for the summer discount, as I placed another order this morning. Oh, thank you, Hannah. And also, just to keep you, I know not just you, Hannah, but others as well. So our Millie has had another operation. She's had breast cancer. This is our Cocker Spaniel. She's had breast cancer earlier this year. And Hannah, do you remember we said to you, can you just look at the lumps? And none of those were a problem, but the vet found one that we hadn't even spotted near her breast again, and she's had another operation, and they've confirmed it as the opposite of radical cancer cells. So they think this is the end now, but we have to keep an eye out on any lumps and bumps that she might be developing. So yes, she's all fine now. She's walking again, and it wasn't as big a cut that they had to make this time because it was a tiny growth. So anyway, that's what I also should just tell you that, Hannah. Have a great evening, all. You're probably already gone. Hi, Margaret says, my friends, Steffi, my friend's mum trains guide dog. She said there is an appeal coming soon. Nice. I feel really silly now. All month I've been wondering why she was wearing a berry. Ah, it's her hat. It's a pumpkin leaf. It's kind of all in the wrong place, but you know when they hide under the leaves and they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can't sometimes see them because the leaves are covering them up. So you can make that leaf even bigger. Ilona says, fabulous, thank you. Dawn says, thanks, Steffi, that's a great evening. Jane says, really lovely, Steffi. We'll probably make 2, one for myself and one for Charlotte. Oh, nice. Dawn says, sending love to Millie. Thank you. Margaret says, we'll make my tomorrow unless I get too excited with my lucky bag. Sharon says, beautiful. Love the Pumpkin Girl. Lots of thank yous. Claudia says, always enjoy the live show and you always make me smile. All the best to Millie. And Anne says, thanks for your time, Steffi. I have packed a bag of felting goodies to take with me. Here's to a sunny winter. I couldn't support that sentiment more. Hopefully we'll get a few sunny late summer days in before that, and hopefully autumn isn't too gruesome either. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see some of you perhaps at the shows that we're going to. And of course we have an unboxing to do at the beginning of September. Better rush and get my hummingbird instructions written up. For those of you who haven't seen it, this is the hummingbird that's coming in the September box, and plenty of time to get your unicorn box yet still, so don't give up on that yet. But this is the hummingbird coming in the September box, and the September flock theme is autumn leaves. So take care, everybody, and sending you lots of love. Bye.